Hello, this is Rozzy Abraham, and I am here to discuss my experience in Ghana as well as Ghana as a developing country. First, I want to go ahead and dead any stereotypes about the typical African country. While Ghana is developing, we still went to some very nice establishments. As you can see here, me enjoying some of the nightlife on my first night in Ghana. And this is where we stayed for the first couple of weeks in the hostel.
Chain my horse in way with your astonishing beauty. Oh, you couldn't make a brother sing. No ordinary thing, a supernatural being. And no, you are brighter than the moon.
Now, we used a bus as one of our main modes of transportation to get from place to place. And one reason how I noticed that Ghana is still developing is by the road systems. So as you can see, some of the roads are more developed, just like the roads that we have here in the States. And then some of them are more dirt roads. So those are areas that are still developing and they're working on bettering their transportation systems. Secondly, I noticed that Ghana is developing because of some of the houses and shelters that they had. It reminded me of downtown Atlanta because some of the houses and establishments will be really nice, just like this house that you see here. And then some of the houses in Atlanta will be more abandoned and look like shacks like the one you see here. So there are all different types and varieties of living in Ghana. Now, one major issue in Ghana is the power issue. A lot of times the power would go out so they can ration it between the different areas and utilize their electricity. So that's something that they're still working on as a country. But at the same time, I feel that these methods of washing clothes and cooking that you see here are also part of their traditions. Next, in Ghana, there are businesses, as you can see, being different fruits and drinks and things being sold on the streets here. Also, in the marketplace, they have a lot of stuff that they're willing to sell to gain monetary income for themselves. I remember one of my classmates saying that in Atlanta, a lot of homeless people and people on the street will be begging for money, but in Ghana, you will always see people working for their money to gain monetary income in order to provide for their families.
You are my African queen, and I know.
Even when we were doing some of the fun stuff on our trip, like you can see me on the beach here, people would be approaching us and swarming us, trying to sell their different goods and trinkets that they had, because for some reason, if you're American in Ghana and you're white especially, they just assume that you have money. And a lot of my classmates were annoyed by that, and it was a little trying at times, but at the same time I definitely understood.
My heart, my love, my body and my money. Every other thing you think of. In a man who could think of anything better than you. Who could think of
My favorite part about staying in Ghana in general was staying with my host family. This was their home. And here I am outside. They have a sign that says The Amazing Grace Home. And I really loved my family because they were just wonderful, great people, very loving and hospitable. They made sure I was very well fed. This is Mama Vic. Sometimes she made sure I was too well fed. And this is her grandson, Nee. He is 3 years old and the smartest little boy I think I've ever met. And then next we have Nee's older sister, Na, and Na is 7 years old. And then towards the end of my stay with Mama Vic and her family, her grandson actually just graduated from college, so he came home afterwards. And then she also had housekeepers who she is helping by paying for their education as they complete different tasks around the home. As you guys can see, I had a wonderful time and experience in Ghana, and I would definitely like to go again and see how the country continues to grow and develop as a nation. I wanted to close by sharing one of the most impacting things I think I learned on my trip. And it was not something that I learned in the classroom via one of our lectures or the teachers that we spoke with, but instead I learned from a friend that I met in the airport that not everybody, or we have to remember that not everybody wants to live the American dream, have the big house and fancy cars, but some people are completely satisfied with living with what they have. So with that being said, I kind of took that into consideration when I was looking at some of these Ghanaians that did not necessarily have what we would consider to be standard means of living. And that is something that I definitely took back here. I hope you guys enjoyed this presentation, and this is my little thank you to Dr. Capers and everyone that donated. I really appreciate you guys.